We are live. Hello and welcome to Talk Chef, the season 2 finale. I'm one of your hosts, Reka.
I'm your other host, Jordan, and today we have such an exciting guest.
We are live. Hell yeah, that echo.
We're getting the echo. That might be me. Let's see.
That was me. I just shut it off.
Okay, well, honestly, big way to kick off the episode. And spoiler alert, if you didn't watch the episodes, we have season 2 Top Chef winner, Top Chef himself, Ilan Hall.
Yes.
Ilan, thank you so much for being here.
It's my pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
We are so excited to have you here. The fans are freaking out. We can't believe it.
We are Top Chef freakazoids.
Yes.
We have each seen every season like 700 times. Yes. So this is a true honor. Question, you only had one season that you could have possibly watched before your season. Did you watch that, or did the timing not? Okay.
The timing didn't work. It was lower the button. The timing didn't work actually because I was working so much and I didn't have cable. So, I was living in Manhattan, so I didn't even have a TV yet. No, I had a TV. I had a very tiny TV.
Yes.
But no, I didn't have cable, and I heard about it. I saw the billboards. They were all around my walk to work, but I didn't, I saw the faces of the people, and I knew some of the people through other people. They'd come into the restaurant. Leanne Wong came into the restaurant. Harold had been in. There were a few other faces that came in, but yeah, I didn't know. I knew of it. It was the talk of the industry, but it wasn't a part of my world because I didn't have TV.
You were basically going in as kind of unaware of the show as the season 1 contestants then, it sounds like.
Yeah.
That's very cool. People are already loving your glasses, by the way. So big shout out to your glasses. Incredible. So we are truly so pumped to have you here. And as you guys know, our viewers, this is a food charity-based show. Every week we pick a different charity to donate to, and this week is no different. So our charity today is Long Island Cares. Ilan is from Long Island. There's a nice connection there. I love the subtitle of this charity. It's called Long Island Cares, the Harry Chapin Food Bank. Are you a Harry Chapin fan? Is that like a big deal in Long Island?
I don't know.
He sings Cats in the Cradle.
I know, but I'm not a big fan.
Okay, so you wouldn't say that song is super important to you? It's not like your anthem or anything?
No, it's not my anthem, certainly not. No, I was getting ready to do Top Chef. I was listening to a lot more 50 Cent. It kind of got me.
Okay, cool. So that's not on the Long Island Cares website. It's not a 50 Cent food bank.
I have not opened up a food-based charity yet, but
they might. And speaking of 50 cents, that is as much as you can donate. If you'd like to this charity, you could donate 50 cents. You could donate $2 billion. If you would like to donate tonight, as usual, Jordan's Venmo handle will be open for 24 hours at JORDANMYR1CK. Again, 24 hours. We're going to be taking donations all night. Guys, as we said, we've raised like a couple $1,000s doing this show for different food-based charities. So that's really cool. You guys are already rolling in donations before the show even started, and we love that.
Thank you so much. We truly love it. And I think now that we've gotten that one aspect of business done, now we have another aspect of business. And Ilan, Reka and I have a small surprise for you. Top Chef starts with a quick fire challenge, and Talk Chef starts with a quick fire challenge.
Okay.
So we're going to hit you with 10 questions in the shortest quick fire in Top Chef history. In 35 seconds. Yes, limber up.
Yes, I'm going to get my phone to time you.
Yes, perfect. And all of the questions are just preference based. They're not trivia or anything like that. So don't stress too much.
Definitely you should be stressed.
Okay, Rick,
but not too stressed.
Okay.
Exactly.
But yes, as Jordan said, they're just food preferences.
Yes. And then your timer will start when I am finished reading the first question.
And I do want to just stress, Ilan, that this isn't just some bullshit game we're playing. The prizes are pretty big. The prizes are a deed to the Terlato Wine Vineyard, the official wine of Top Chef.
A wine that we think maybe doesn't actually exist because we've tried to purchase it in real life and online, and it cannot be purchased.
We've heard from people on the show that it tastes bad. The smallest bottle you can buy is 2,000 gallons. So this, you could win a deed to this vineyard that's probably located in a hole somewhere in California. And you could win your own suite of broken Kenmore appliances provided by Sears.
Wow.
So things like an oven where the temperature gets knocked down and you think it's another contestant, or a burner that doesn't work, or a fryer that doesn't turn on. These could all be yours.
These could be yours.
Okay, I cannot wait.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to start the timer from when Jordan finishes the first question. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. What is the favorite dish you made on this season?
The gazpacho on the finale.
Which judge do you get along with the best?
Gail.
Who is your top chef BFF in real life?
Elia.
One celebrity chef is your sous chef. Who do you choose?
Tim Love.
Your favorite ingredient in the entire world?
I'm like looking in my kitchen. White miso.
What in God's name is Marcel's tramp stamp tattoo of?
I think it's like a tribal thing. No, there's a fish. There's a fish involved. It's
Okay.
a tribal fish.
Okay, least favorite challenge on this season?
Second to last.
Oh, okay, Ilan, very close.
So
very
close. You know what? As a consolation prize, we're going to give you the second biggest bottle of Terlato wine that they
Okay.
offer, which is 7 billion gallons. It comes in a big jug and it's microwaved. Okay. So it's so good. It's better.
I'll move into it. It's bigger than my house.
Yes, you can move. That's the Terlato motto. You can move into one.
A lot of motto.
Wow, we got a lot of really good. So, did you say white miso was your favorite ingredient?
It was the.
That's not true,
Yeah.
right?
If you
Okay.
had to
it's
provide,
true.
It is true.
I mean, it's one of them.
Okay, I was
Any
curious
sort of
about that.
fermented legume is great.
oh
Okay.
yes,
We love.
we love that. Okay, great. Yeah. I was going to ask if you wanted to revise that answer. Do you have
No.
other favorite ingredients? Okay, perfect.
Oh, I do have. I mean, I've got lots. I look in my kitchen. Nutritional yeast is one of my favorite ingredients. I use
Oh my
so many different
God.
things.
You're saying a lot of I'm eat mostly vegan, and you're saying a lot of the umami things we use.
Yeah, I mean, I eat very vegan also right now, but I don't know, I'm looking in my kitchen. That's why.
So,
I'm looking
well,
at what's up.
Actually, speaking of veganism, you
Mhm.
started, before we dive into this, a lot of the people in the chat or on our Instagram were asking, you started Ramen Hood.
Mm.
And like for us, people who aren't, in regular contact with you, we see the Ilan on the show who's obsessed with Spanish cuisine. And then we see a vegan ramen shop. How did you get from point A to point B?
I mean, there was a lot of points in between. I mean, it was
Really? It doesn't seem like.
14 years ago that.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Actually, it's almost. What's today's date? I think
Today's
it's like 20. What's
Today's
it?
the 26th.
It might be like 14 years tomorrow or something. It was the end of January 2007. No, I'm serious.
Oh my. Wait.
Yeah.
When?
It was almost 14 years exactly.
That actually.
I got
right. Like my.
I got
No, if you look at Wikipedia, look at it. It was like the
Craig, let's look
27th
it
or
up.
28th, something like that.
I will die if that's true. So would this be when it was filmed or when it aired?
No, that's when it aired. That's when the finale aired.
Oh my God. I got another chill. Okay. Finale part 1 aired January 24th, 2007. Finale part 2 aired January 31st. We are 2 days out from the 14-year anniversary of
Right in
finale part 1.
between. Right in
Right in
between.
between the two.
Guys, something cosmic and beautiful is happening. If you feel it too, donate to Long Island Cares. Venmo handle in the chat.
That was
That's
a beautiful
so
segue. Kiss.
I love.
You
that.
just call it a kiss.
I
Yeah.
just called it kiss. Yeah. Where I'm
Ilan,
from, we call it a kiss.
yeah. Ilan, I do have to ask. I noticed you're wearing a hat from the Gorbals.
Mhm.
Do you remember when I went to the Gorbals when I was in high school?
Okay, was that momentous?
Yes, I do. Of course.
I
Yes, I
did
do.
order. You might remember that I did order 5 orders of your bacon wrapped matzo balls.
I actually might remember that.
It was actually sick. I went with my high school boyfriend, which is funny for a lot of reasons. A lot of things have happened since then, including the fact that I'm a lesbian.
Okay,
And
point A to point B, a lot of things happen.
Gayness kind of swept through, and that.
And it might have started with those matzo balls.
It might have started. Those might have made me gay. But we went, and he took me for my birthday because I was obsessed with you. Because I was obsessed with Top Chef. I actually watched it when it was on TV, and I loved you. I was so excited that you won, and I had just moved to LA. I moved to LA my junior year of high school, and I was like, oh my god, I moved to LA. Ilan opened a restaurant recently. Like, I have to go. So he took me for my birthday, and I ordered 2 orders of the bacon wrapped matzo balls and ate them both myself because they came while he was in the bathroom. And then he was like, okay, we have to order some more. And then he ordered 2 more, and I ate those 2. And then I think I maybe gave him 1 out of the entire 5 orders. But we ordered so much, it was so delicious. It's like
maybe
the
easier thing to remember, did you remember a woman that had like severe diarrhea in your bathroom like sometime?
You're a very sick 16-year-old girl that seemed gay but was there on a date anyway.
Yeah, do you remember a gay woman who had diarrhea in your bathroom?
Yeah, but it threw me off because you were on a date with a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were like, wait, something is amiss here.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, I did just have to say that because it was like truly one of my fondest food memories.
And she's not.
Thank you so much.
She's not blowing smoke. She's mentioned.
Oh, that's really touching. I'm serious.
Many times.
I talk about it all the time. It was like so fun, and the lighting and the ambiance was so cool. And you were there that night. You were in the kitchen cooking, and I was like, oh my god, it was very cool. So this feels very full circle, and I am like truly fangirling. I'm sorry, we can get back to the episode, but I did just have to say thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is beautiful. Wow. Okay. There's been so many revelations just in the past. My point A to point B in this episode has been, wow, astonishing. We have learned we're right in the midst of a 14-year anniversary.
Yeah.
You
can buy that.
Yes,
wow.
I'm truly shaken. So hopping into these episodes, we're in Hawaii. Okay, wow, beautiful. You're in Hawaii in, I guess, do you remember when you filmed it? If it premiered in January?
Yes, actually, it was the beginning of November. It was like the end of October, beginning of November. And the only reason I know that is because I came back the night before my mother's birthday. My mother's birthday is on the 8th of November. And the whole thing was that I didn't get her a gift. I wasn't allowed to tell anybody for like 2 months because that's until it aired and whatever. But I didn't have time to get my mom a gift. And so I was like, fuck, what do I do? I had like brunch with my parents because I'd just come back. I hadn't even gone back to work yet. And so I was like, I told her, I was like, I got to tell her, like, that's the best, I guess, the best gift, even though it's not something for her, it's something for me. But it was just like, I needed to do something. And so I told her that I had won, and it made her very happy.
Oh, that's very cute.
So yeah, first week of November,
okay.
2006, 2006, Jesus.
I know. Okay, great. So it's you, Marcel, Elia, and Sam. And your elimination challenge is basically immediate, and it is to put your own spin on traditional luau food. Now, before we started the stream, you said that this was an episode you haven't seen in like a while.
Very long time.
Yeah. So were there any things you were like, oh, I didn't even remember, like, were there stuff you didn't even remember that happened?
I forgot that they filmed us at, like, first of all, I thought it was weird that Marcel and Elia were in Vegas and Sam and I were in New York. So we're only coming from 2 cities, which was just kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I forgot that they had come and shot stuff in Casamono where I was working at the time. That was like weird. And they interviewed my boss, Andy. That whole thing was very strange to me.
They don't do that anymore.
They don't do. It also made me notice they don't do a lot of, like, you know, character background and character, you know, stuff with the chefs anymore. It's become more about I don't know. It's become, I almost feel like it's focused more on the hosts and stuff now than it is on the personalities of the chefs.
Well, I definitely agree with that. And I think it's a little more focused on the food. There doesn't seem to be as much of the Bravo reality stamp
Yeah.
in seasons, I'll say 10 and beyond, as there was in the first 10 seasons, especially the first like 5 seasons. I feel like people are like, if you saw 2 contestants like hooking up, spoiler, in season 5, in like season 17, it would be like very weird. And no one, I think we would all respond poorly and we would hate it.
Nobody was allowed to also.
Yeah.
Like it was very against the rules. The rules were very strict, and after our season, they made them significantly stricter because we crossed lines in certain ways that were deemed, bad. Or we did some bad things, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think such a big thing, even just, I don't know if you've ever seen the season 1 reunion. It is one of the most chaotic episodes of TV I've ever seen. Everyone is clearly blackout drunk.
Yeah.
Which is like so wild, which makes sense because it's like a Real Housewives reunion. So I think that they really tried to like take some of that stuff away. I'm curious, Ilan, did you think you were gonna go home after the Marcel head shaving incident?
No.
Or trying to? Did you think you were gonna go home at any point?
No. No, I mean, at any point, I thought I was going to lose some competitions,
sure.
But I didn't think I was going to go home because of behavior. It's complex. I mean, listen, I want to go out and say there is a lot of, in retrospect, 14 years later, you look at yourself and you look at the way that you behaved and, mistakes that you made as a person in their young 20s. And, I'm not proud of a lot of the things that went down, a lot of things that I did. I'm not saying went down. The things that I did, things that I said, at the time I tried to justify them, but you look back on things and like, you don't want to hurt people. You don't want to say horrible things to people. You don't want to make people feel badly. You go there to win a competition. Now, when they were shooting, it's a little bit of inside baseball, but when they were shooting, I know everybody says things are edited around, but I've also subsequently produced television and been in charge of the other side. And so it's one of those weird things where you see how they try to make the sausage and in retrospect, what things that they were leading you to do or things that they wanted to get out of you, things they wanted you to say. So, there are a lot of times in interviews, and I'm probably breaking our rule, some sort of contract rule now, even though it's 100 years later, but the way that editors can use your voice in your sentences, you can hear it if you really sort of pay attention, especially now with high definition audio, where words are placed in sentences to sort of, or things are taken out of context from something nothing to do with it. And then, Franken edit, whatever, right? Is that what you just?
Yeah, Frankenbiting, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, I'm not saying that happened, we were there, we did bad things, I did bad things, I said bad things, but there's a narrative they also want to play, especially at the beginning, like you said, they've changed the way that the show goes.
Absolutely.
And so that's probably from response from people, saying, hey, we care that this is a food competition. We don't really give a shit if people don't like each other. So, that's that. I mean, right now, honestly, I'm in an amazing, I know you didn't ask any of this, but I'm in an amazing place with almost everybody from the show that I still keep in touch with. I keep in touch with Marcel. He just became a dad, which is incredible. Beautiful baby boy. He's married to like the woman of his dreams. Like he's in such a wonderful place in his life. And I'm like so happy. And I love, I just, I'm still in touch with Sam. I'm still in touch with Mike Midgley. I speak to Elia. I've been to Mexico with Elia and I know her family very well. And I've, been so close. We almost opened a restaurant together. I maintain relationships. I maintained a relationship with Betty for a really long time. I haven't seen her in a while, but, I remain very, very close with her. And so, there's, I don't know. It's and also through this, I've met so many other people from other seasons because we've all been through this sort of weird thing. And there's this connection that we all have. It's kind of like a weird fraternity, even if we don't know each other really. And I've become huge friends with like CJ Jacobson. He's one of my closest friends. I'm close with Richard Blaze, you know, like there's, I don't know, it's a great Dale Talde. We've done events in the Philippines together. Like it's this like really cool, weird misfit community because we're all cooks and we're all strange people that are supposed to be in the back anyway. And like, you know, I don't know. Sorry, that was my.
No, I think we love that. And again, we're all Top Chef super fans. So I think we appreciate, you know, the only story we get is this 2006 season of like, hey, people were bullies to each other, tried to shave Marcel's head and stuff. So it's nice to hear like, yeah, we're older and wiser and better, and we are sorry for the things we did.
Yeah. I also think too, just like having worked in kitchens and having worked in restaurants, I mean, like I could see how people, I think some of the people who have never worked in a restaurant or a kitchen before kind of miss how like people don't always talk to each other in the nicest manner during food service in a restaurant and in a kitchen. And so I think for people who have never experienced that, to see what I think, to me at least, feels already kind of on the edge of like normal restaurant gruffness.
Yeah.
And then have someone who I think has a personality that like is a little bit more grating. You're on reality TV. It, you know, it's cranked up to 1 million because you're on camera, but even just being like the heat in the kitchen, like it gets so hot in the kitchen that people get testy. Like, so I think that what to a lot of people feels like really extreme is like, yeah, I don't know, just like people in the kitchen are already kind of assholes to each other.
No, it's true. And your situation is extreme. I mean, like I was saying, the hardest challenge was the part 1 of the finale. And the real hardest part, it was like 105 degrees, super humid. We're outside. And also we had to cook, like nobody understands the quantity of food we had to cook. So we had 3 hours to prepare 2 dishes for 150 people. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was 66. I remember it was like 66 people. We had to do 66 portions of each. So that's, you know, 130, whatever. It's like unique plates of food. Now it's sort of more banquet style, it's simpler, but like I put out my food. I was like, this shit looks so fucking ugly. I'm out. Like I thought I was completely done. I did like a fried donut thing. Like it tasted good. All my food tasted good. I did a fried donut thing and I did this like lao sort of riff wrapped, but I looked at it and I was like, this is ugly. Everybody has these beautiful like crudos and all this stuff. And I'm gone. I 100% sure that I was going to be out. I was like, hey, nice try, but like that was it. Like everybody had like beautiful, Elias plate was beautiful. Marcel had like these dots of this pineapple. Like I looked at everybody's food going, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? And then, you know. Did
you think that when you were rewatching it too? Were you like?
Well, I no, in context, I understand why what went down. I understand that like, you know, the strength of flavor and like bold flavors, you know, overpowered, you know, cleanliness and simplicity because so many people were doing like these like light ethereal things, which was not my cooking at all at that moment. You know, I've changed a lot in the way that I cook, but like that wasn't my MO. And so now it's like I look back and I get it, but you know, mine was pretty rustic.
Well, speaking of let's actually talk about some of these dishes.
Sure.
So we like to just do like a quick thumbs up, thumbs down of like, does this sound good? And your criteria is whatever the hell you want it to be. Like, you know, we like to do like, does this seem like a good Top Chef dish? Like, okay, I'm sure it tastes good, but is it good for the challenge? Is it a good, you know, you're on a professional cooking show dish? Honestly, sometimes I'm just like, would I eat it? And I would eat almost everything that I've ever seen on the show, except maybe a couple of things.
My chicken liver covered in chocolate, maybe.
Okay. Well, I will say I would try that
last week.
We talked about it. We did. I was a little worried. Like, oh, is Ilan gonna watch this? Because we did riff on that a little bit last week. It looked a little like a diarrhea with like a diarrhea with like diarrhea inside of it, like a turducken. But I would try it. The flavor. I don't care what food looks like. All the food I eat is mush.
It wasn't good. I took chances on quick fires. Like not that I didn't care, but I was like, this is not going to kick. I never thought I was going to win a quick fire.
Sure.
So I was always like, let me just like shoot for the moon and do something wild. None of them really stuck. I don't think I didn't win one singular quick fire by myself. I won on the Thanksgiving challenge, but like half the cast won. But like, so I was always
I
like,
also think it's like, who cares nowadays? If you I feel like you want to win a quick fire because they're like, you win this quick fire, you get to go to Kelly Clarkson's house and you get
some of the prizes are so. It'll be like if you win the elimination challenge, you get a signed cookbook from like a John Smith, and then if you win the quick fire, it's like you win $100,000. Yeah, and you get to fucking kiss Beyonce on the mouth.
Yeah, it's so wild. So I get in your season why it's just like, I mean, you could get immunity up until a certain point, but it's kind of like, I don't know. For me, I'm like, if you're really playing for it, who cares if you have immunity or not? It's nice, but you know, you want to do a good job, so you don't really need it. So I'm pro balls to the walls on quick fire.
And I'll say sidebar, Jason, a ~1 top Talk Chef viewer, says, I'm up for the chicken liver and chocolate. So you got a fan.
well, I mean, I know we're trying to get on, but like, a few years ago, I went for my birthday to Blue Hill at Stone Barn with my lady, and one of the last dishes that they gave us was a pork liver with chocolate, and they put it down. And I don't know if it was a jab at me, but we both started cracking up when they dropped it. It was just super funny because it was like, and it worked. It was good, but it was just like, it was it was more like of a savory dish they were using, but it was just like they dropped it and they said what it was, and we both started cracking up.
Is Dan Barber that cheeky? Do you think?
I don't think so. He didn't know who I was. I mean, that's me being like super conceited and being like, everybody.
It's very funny. Yeah.
It's very funny.
I would absolutely do that if I knew a Top Chef person was coming in. Okay, so Sam's dish, again, the challenge is put your own spin on traditional luau food. Sam made opaka paka poke with sea beans, and then a mascarpone mousse with Hawaiian salted coconut milk and citrus tweedle. Listen, that
delicious.
hopia take, I would take a bath in that. That sounds incredible.
Delicious.
Elia, Hawaiian red snapper steamed with carrots, bell peppers, sweet peas, wrapped in a leaf, and then ahi poke with olives, capers, and a lemon confit. Oh, that sounds great too.
I tasted all of this, by the way.
Oh, you guys tasted each other's stuff?
I tasted all of it. I ate all of it.
It's all good. Okay.
Okay. See, normally we're just going with our eyeballs and we go, that tastes good. Marcel made pineapple poi with hamachi poke, and then salmon lomi lomi with tomato foam, scallion oil, chili water, and a lotus root chip.
Sure.
To me, that pineapple poi sounded incredible.
Great.
I would eat the shit out of that.
His food at the finale, like everything that I tasted of his there was delicious.
That's so okay. Little sidebar. When you guys on the day, when you're whatever, 24-year-old baby chefs, you know, are you complimenting each other's food when it tastes good, or are you like, this is my fucking competitor, I don't want to make him feel good?
Just in the whole competition, or just
in the finale? On
the finale. Well, when we didn't taste each other's food when we were doing prep work in there, we were all super focused.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird because now I think they give them more time for their final meal, but we only had 4 hours of prep and then 1 hour day of. It's not a lot of time to do the best meal of your life, so to speak. You know, if I look at it right now, even though I think I've got more technical skill now than I did then, I would want like a good 48 hours to like, you want me to do something spectacular, like really pushing the boundaries. Like I look back now and that's like kind of simple, but it was simple purposefully because we knew that we only had a little bit of time.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
Christine asks, do we agree with Tom's critique that Sam didn't cook anything? I don't. I'm like, I guess, but like, I mean, I guess literally, but there's so many foods. He prepared stuff.
Yeah. 3 hours took over 100 dishes.
Yeah.
No.
So, I think Tom, in the first 2 seasons, if I may say, is trying to be a bit of a weenie as a judge.
I think he's trying to be a Simon Cowell. I think they were trying to set it up where, we got a Paula Abdul, we've got a Randy, we've got a Simon Cowell.
Wait, who's Randy?
Randy was the judge. Randy Jackson.
No. I know who fucking Randy. Who is Randy on the show?
Simmons.
Yeah. I was gonna say. Okay, it is good. Okay.
And then Paul is Padma because they're two iconic hotties.
Mhm.
So, but you know what I mean? So I think he was trying to be a little bit of a Simon. So I feel like he kind of had a critique about everything. Now I feel like he's really, I mean, this is so, everything I say is so presumptuous, but now I feel like he's kind of moved into a mentor role. He
Daddy.
feels a lot kinder and more gentle and guiding to
Yeah,
everyone.
what I said, yes. Okay, great. Oh yeah, Amanda points out, Padma saying, so this is why, listen, season 1 is good, but when Padma Lakshmi steps to the plate, we're like, damn, this is a show. She's incredible. Everyone read her book. Okay, so oh, then we get to you. You made morcilla, which is that like blood sausage?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And squid lala with onions, and then a saffron hapia frita. That fritter, anything that looks like a donut or whatever, I'm in.
It was
Yeah,
done.
Reka wanted to bathe in Sam's sauce, and I wanted to crawl in your Halpia little donut like a sleeping bag and take a nap in it.
Yes.
It looked so
It looks so good.
The only thing that I fucked up in now in retrospect on that would have made it more adorable is if I actually made it into a donut. If I cut out a center, then it would have been like.
Oh my God. And then you had one bowl of just the holes for the table.
On the side. That'd be great.
Oh my God. Okay, wow. I have to take a shower. Okay. Incredible. So then at the judges table,
Yes.
there's a little moment here where it's like, did Marcel disrespect you guys in the kitchen? What was happening?
Okay. I'll tell you what's happening. So this is, looking back 14 years later, all of us were guilty of trying to get the others eliminated for technicalities. And so what happened was, it happened, almost everybody did it at some point, where they gave us very strict rules. And then what happened was, it would be very obvious that someone was breaking that rule. And we wouldn't rat people out. Everyone would be like, we're fucking following this. What are you doing? But it happened to everybody at some point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it was one of those like weird things where, I mean, that day, it was questionable what was happening to burners and things being moved and whatnot. So in that moment, you know, we're on the chopping block. We're all like, you know, we don't know what's going to happen. Like, people were fucking with our stuff. And also the judges had made decisions in so many different ways that we didn't know. You know, sometimes Tom would be like, you know, this was a hilarious thing my mom used to always point out to me. She's like, you didn't take a chance. You took too many chances. You didn't take a chance. It was always like, you're in your comfort zone. You're not going out of your comfort zone. So it's like, we were all just like, what the fuck do you want?
I mean, they just want, what they want is to say something.
No, it's true, but it's true. It was complicated. And then also another thing that was complicated, to be perfectly honest, I love Padma. I think she's an incredible human being, top to bottom. I'm so glad that I know her, and I'm glad that I knew her then. But when she first came in, you know, kind of she replaced Katie Lee Joel, and you know, this is all after the fact that we know this, but she wasn't supposed to be a judge initially. So somewhere like in the last third of the competition, she started judging things. And so we were all confused. We were asking producers, we're like, wait, are we cooking for her also? Or is it really just for Gail and Tom and whoever the guest is? It was just very confusing. It wasn't, you know, she has incredible taste. Like, I genuinely think she's an amazing person, but it was jarring for us because none of us know what the fuck's going on. None of us really knew what the fuck was going on. And then, you know, in the second episode, Otto, you know, accidentally left something on his cart and didn't pay for it. And that caused a whole commotion. And then it was this whole thing of like, we didn't know what to do. We didn't know where to go. We knew how to cook, but it was just like this insane, ridiculous, non-realistic situation. And then like, one of the things I was watching in the second to last episode just now is I'm like trying to walk somewhere and there's a fucking camera right in front of me. And I'm like, I gotta like move. I gotta like go. I'm on a clock and you're standing in. So there was a lot of shit like that. And we were all just trying to navigate through it. And some of us handled it better than others. Some of us, you know, did stupid shit and didn't.
Copy that.
Yeah. It definitely took production a while to figure out what was the thing. What were we doing?
Yeah.
What, you know, is even Reika likes to plan out a lot, and I think this is so smart because I never noticed this. First season, we didn't really get like plated shots of the dishes at all in the episodes, which I had never even realized. But it's like, they've come so far in how the show is run aesthetically, but I'm sure also like rules wise as well. Harold mentioned too that like used to they didn't even write down the rules or anything. It was just kind of like, here's what you're supposed to do. So people would get confused because things weren't clear.
Yeah. And one of the things, you know, they would want us to do an extra dish for camera, which we all had to do, but it's ironic because that's supposed to be the beauty shot, but that was the one we didn't give a shit about because we weren't getting judged on it. So we wouldn't necessarily season it properly. We wouldn't finish it. So like you look on some of the beauty shots and something looks terrible. Like I looked at something I did, there was like sauce on the side. It was just like sloppy and messy. And they would have stylists to try and fix it, but they never did it the way it was supposed to be. So it was like, that was always the one that's supposed to look the prettiest was always the ugliest.
Yeah, that's very.
We didn't care about the show. We cared about winning.
Yeah.
I do think about that a lot with the plating shots because now I think they spend a lot more time on those plating shots, and I've heard the person that styles them like even eats it after or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think about like I think there's so much like the temperature sensitive stuff. Like if you've got like a canal going on or something, I'm like, how the fuck are they doing that so fast?
Don't even talk to me about temperature and like the times that things had to wait before they went.
Oh yeah.
Never do anything with ice cream.
Oh my God. Why is anyone making ice cream on this show? I've maybe seen ice cream happen twice. Ice cream is the risotto of desserts. Incredible. So that takes us out of the penultimate episode. And we eliminated our Elliot and Sam. We had a lot of Sam fans this season in the chat. So sorry, Sam fans. And it's just you and Marcel, the dynamic duo at this point, which feels to me in the early days of Bravo, like very produced, like these two people who were at each other's throats the whole season are facing off to the death, is the vibe. Like a sort of Logan Paul versus Mayweather boxing match or whatever. Isn't Logan Paul fighting a boxer? McGregor, excuse me. Yeah.
Mayweather's one of the best boxers ever.
Okay, sorry.
It
already seemed stupid to me that Logan Paul was gonna fight someone.
Good.
Logan Paul is the YouTuber who keeps getting in trouble.
Yeah, and is actually incidentally in season 15 of Top Chef.
Oh, that's true. They're like in Colorado and they take him to food trucks and he's like, hi.
It's honestly very funny. Sidebar. They were doing food trucks. Yeah. And Logan Paul's like invited a bunch of people to come. So a bunch of young people come and eat food at the food trucks. And it is so clear he's there because he's like popular, and like Tom and Padma and Gail like don't care about it.
Not want to talk to him at all.
Because he keeps saying, he'll be like, oh my God, I love waffles. They're like, oh, cool. Anyways.
It's very funny.
So, and then he leaves. It's so awkward. And they're like, thanks for coming. He's like, cool. And kind of just like walks off. It's very funny. Okay, great. So we hop into the finale. Your elimination challenge. Cook the best 5-course meal of your life for 8 diners, a lot of whom are like very famous chefs. And you draw knives to see which restaurant you're cooking at.
Can I ask a quick question? Yeah. I'm curious as to who you were most intimidated at that table to cook for.
Yes.
Wiley, 100%.
Okay.
Have you since worked with him at all?
He was on my show he guest judged on my show, and you know what was really crazy about him guest judging on my show? We were judging something, and we sort of went to talk about who we thought like should win and why. We were talking about the dishes, and this wasn't on camera or anything. He referenced a dish that I had made in that meal, like 11 years later. I'm like, And we all stopped. We're like, what the fuck are you talking about? How do you remember? He's like, oh yeah, the amount of acid that you used in the macadamia nut gazpacho. I was like, what? And I love him. I think he's incredible. I think he's one of those people that's ahead of his time, and chefs love him and respect him and revere him. And he's just like, his memory for meals is, I've never seen anything like it. Like, I don't remember how I made something, and he's like breaking it down for me. He's like, well, this worked because this the part of the dish that this person did, it kind of like when you did it on top. I was like, what? So
that makes me in love with him. Wow. That's truly beautiful.
And he's awesome, and he makes great donuts, and he's fucking cool.
Donuts are my favorite.
He has a donut shop in New York, in Williamsburg.
I'm going.
What donut shop?
Dude's Donuts. It's in the William Vale Hotel.
Okay, this is crazy. I'm gonna get coronavirus and fly to New York, I think.
I'll meet you.
Yeah.
Coffee there too.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So hopping back to this, you guys pick your sous chefs. Again, another trope I don't like of these early seasons of Top Chef is the like, hey, who do you want to work for? The like instigation of drama. I'm not interested. I don't care. So they, who do you want to work for? You bet you don't want to work for Marcel. Whatever. I don't care. So you end up with Elia and Betty, and then Marcel ends up with Sam and Mikey. Great, wonderful. Your menu, if we're gonna roll right through this, is so we'll do a little thumbs up, thumbs down. Pincho of pan con tomate with angulas. I'm gonna say it wrong. Angulas. Osetra caviar and tomatillos. I mean, it sounds good to me, but
it was good. They didn't like the canned. They were $100 for a tin of like this big. They were tiny. I was like, this is my thing, and like they didn't love them.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Whatevs.
Yes. Second course, macadamia nut gazpacho with pan roasted moi.
Oh, this
that was the winning dish.
If Wiley's still talking about it a million years later, I mean, come on. Third course is a bit of like a surf and turf play. Seared squab with foie gras, shrimp, braised leeks, and lobster sauce. I'm mostly vegan. I've never had lobster. That lobster sauce sold me.
It was delicious.
So good. Fourth course, braised beef short rib with mushrooms and a Spanish romesco sauce. It sounded good, but I know that they had some issues with it. What's your issue?
It wasn't good. It was an ill-conceived dish. It was just 3 components. They tasted good. It wasn't like not good, but there was nothing refined about it. It wasn't at a level that it was nowhere near the level. It was super rustic. It was like something you get at a barbecue place, but like not as good.
What would you do differently?
I'd probably cook a piece of meat like to temp there rather than braising it. I was braising it for safety because going through the whole competition, you're like, I don't know, when you're doing prep, we were doing prep in another place. And so we didn't know what the situation was going to be like at this other restaurant. So we couldn't guess. And so my whole thing was like, I just want to have something that's fully cooked that I can finish because I have so many other components of other things. I kind of wanted that to be the most simple. It was a tactical thing, but it wasn't executed in the best way.
Yes.
I have a better idea of how I do it now. But.
Yes. Sorry. I don't think they would ever do that now, make you prep somewhere else and then take it to a new location.
No, the closest thing I've seen is like say again. Oh, for the closest thing I've seen is in South Carolina season when they cook in they order proteins from the hotel that they have like no control over, like like if they don't put it on that list, it doesn't get there.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
But that's it. I imagine it's hard to prep and move.
I'm trying to think.
It was weird.
Yeah.
And we had to carry it through. It was far from where we prepped. And we had them on speed racks that were wrapped. So we have like liquids, we have frozen things, and we're like in an elevator. And a funny thing happened, like another weird funny thing that I found out about recently. I'm friendly with Roy Choi. You know Roy Choi?
Yeah.
And we were texting like a month and a half ago about something, and he was like, I was like complimenting him because he's awesome and I love him and I think he's incredible. And he was like, you don't know this, but I was living in Hawaii working at the Hilton Waikoloa Village when you were filming the finale. And he goes, there was a point when I got into an elevator and you and Tom and other people were in there. He's like, I was just working in one of the restaurants. And I'm like, no fucking way. He told this to me like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago.
Like ships passing in the night.
And then downstairs, there was a young 16-year-old having diarrhea in the bathroom. Wow.
So weird, right?
That's so weird. Incredible.
Like, just a fucking random, weird, nothing to do with anything happened to be there.
Wow. That's so fun. That's like, you know, the couple that like took a picture at Disney and then
and then they meet.
Yeah.
Background. That's so wild. I love stuff like that.
I love that. Incredible. Okay, so then your final course is a Tangelo soup with Hawaiian fruit like mangoes and papayas, a Suriname cherry sorbet, and a bay leaf fritter.
Yes.
I am all fucking about that bay leaf fritter.
Yeah, the bay leaf fritter sounds so fun. I'm not even that into fruit, but that bay leaf fritter was.
Jordan's underselling herself. Jordan thinks fruit is stupid and a waste of time.
I just don't think fruit is the same as a vegetable. And I think people want to act like fruit. I think in season fruit is incredible, but I am not trying to eat like a bunch of like out of season strawberries. That just doesn't appeal to me.
We were in Hawaii.
Yeah.
I've never eaten tropical fruit like this in my life.
Yeah.
I'm sure I would love that.
It was dragon fruit. I've never had a dragon fruit that tasted good. And then you go there and like the mangoes are like, what? They are something, they're a different thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm a little anti, just like bad. I think vegetables can be good even when they're not that great. I think fruit doesn't have that same feeling to me personally. So I find a lot of the fruit that I'm served, I'm kind of just like, eh.
And you're not a big fruit in dessert or fruit in a salad person.
I like fruit in a salad. I'm a chocolate gal, but I do love citrus. I love citrus. So
I mean, I'm ripe fruit over any pastry any day, and I love pastry. I appreciate the technique and it's very complicated, but a piece of like perfect fruit will win every single time.
Okay, drop in the chat if you'd rather have a piece of ripe fruit over a pastry. I think you'll have an unpopular opinion on. But this sounded freaking incredible. Truly, I mean, at each section of this dessert, you've got me hooked. I'm a big mango freak. I love citrus. I'm here for a bay leaf fritter all day. Okay, so then we hop over to Marcel's menu. So we've got sea urchin or uni and Meyer lemon gelée with fennel cream, caviar, and Kalamata oil. And somewhere in there, couldn't quite figure out where there was vanilla listed. You tasted this, correct?
I didn't taste it.
Okay, you didn't taste this.
I've tasted things similar. I know where he was coming from with it.
Okay.
Uni and vanilla is a thing.
Okay. It sounds so crazy to me. I would still try it. But each part of this, it's like when a movie trailer, like you're like, this is a scene in that movie. This is a scene in that movie. Each part of this surprised me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it sounds like a cool Top Chef dish.
Yeah.
Vanilla in a savory dish.
Vanilla and savory is hard for me.
Like, I don't know if I would.
White chocolate and savory sometimes. Like it's all about application, and it's about varying degrees. You know how much you're using. You're not making. It's not like it's not Haagen-Dazs. You know, it's like using it as a scent. Like think about it. You can use lavender and sweet things. You can use lavender and savory things. You can use pine, you know, flavor of pine leaves and pine needles in different. So it's like it's all about application, and that's one thing that nobody can fuck with Marcel on. His application of like delicate flavors is superb.
I totally buy that.
Thumbs up. I've changed my. Ilan sold me. I will eat it.
I'll try. I was always gonna try it. But you sold me, and this is a good culinary education. See. An ambulance is coming because I've learned. Okay, Second dish, cucumber and radish salad with a citrus yuzu vinaigrette. A little sidebar on this is there was an attempt to make these sort of like capsules of the yuzu vinaigrette via like a what the hell was it?
Ethyl cellulose teardrops.
Yeah.
No, not ethyl cellulose. It was,
or,
no, it was ethyl cellulose is something else. It was a type of sugar.
Yes.
Not a sweet sugar. I just watched it.
So did I. This is sad.
Yes, I know. Yes, with the teardrop, the sugar teardrops. With
yeah, sugar teardrop with like the dressing inside.
Break it open, the dressing comes out.
Yeah, you know, we all get it. I need a little more from a salad, and it seems like they did.
I'm kind of just like, to me, I feel like this was only to showcase the teardrop dressing. Sure. And even with the I'm sure it would taste good. I would like it. It would be great. It'd be kind of cool. But even with the teardrop dressing, I'm still like, I don't know if I would use the entirety of one of my courses just a green salad with a dressing and a cool preparation.
Yes.
Not to be a bitch.
You're being a huge bitch, but I'll allow it. I would still, again, granted, I would still eat all of this. I've been to a steakhouse where they gave me like a fucking microwaved head of broccoli before, so like I'll eat all of this. It doesn't matter to me. The next course. Here we go. So sidebar drama, fish drama, our favorite kind of drama. Big fish. Okay, big fish drama tonight on Top Chef. Marcel's kampachi is nowhere to be found. And this is what we were talking about, like they're having to prep in one place and then cook in another place, so the kampachi was left behind. The camera people saw it, but it didn't make it to the kitchen. So this is supposed to be like, the protein of the dish. And then, Sam and Marcel do a quick sidebar and they're like, well, let's make the hearts of palm the star. So the dish ends up being hearts of palm and maitake mushrooms with kaffir lime sauce and sea beans. I will fuck that dish right up.
Oh my God.
I think it sounds better. Not that the fish on it would be great also, but I think it didn't need it. It was, and I think that was the favorite dish of the judges from his, was a completely vegetarian dish.
Which
awesome.
Elements. I'm a huge Hearts of Palm fan, so I was
super creamy. Like that's complex in all the right ways.
Yeah.
If I'm taking a bath in Sam's dish and Jordan is making a home in your donut, I will kiss this dish.
Okay, perfect. It was pretty clear as to where we are.
Yeah, I think you guys get where we're going. Okay. So the fourth dish on Marcel's menu is a North Shore strip loin with garlic puree, a crispy taro ball, and microgreens. I'm here for that. A crispy taro ball, again.
Crispy starch is my thing.
Oh, delicious.
That crispy taro ball looks like the taro balls you get at dim sum.
Yeah. I will adopt a child with that crispy taro ball.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked delicious.
Looks so good. And then the fifth course, dessert, was a blini with Kona coffee, caviar, and Hawaiian chocolate mousse. This sounded great. Delicious. Pancakes are like my favorite food in any form as well. So this is great. I thought these were two really good finale menus. I'm trying to think if there's any other like big standout moments from this meal besides our little kampachi drama. I mean, I guess there was fake drama. Was it actually a dramatic moment when the shrimp heads fell off of your shrimp?
Yeah, everything was dramatic. I mean, we were super tense. It was really tense. The whole thing was tense. We're there. I'm trying to win, and also on the side, it's also, Betty's having a great time there, but Elia just got eliminated. So like, I love Elia. Elia is like my family, but I can't imagine what she was feeling there. Yeah, because she made delicious food. Like she never made mistakes, and so she's like, I can only imagine that she's like, I don't understand,
right?
And what happened I think was she also was upset with how like Tom approached it. Like he when he said he didn't care what our behavior was in the kitchen, I think that really was like, that upset her because she came up in Paris and like worked in some of the most prestigious kitchens, and it's all about your decorum and behavior.
Yes.
And so she was like, well, then we're in different worlds. Then that was like what I inferred from her. And she's like, you know, if you don't care, then I don't care about your competition, you know?
Yeah. I also think that was weird because in season 1, Ken gets sent home in like the first episode because they do prep in the first episode they like work the I think dinner service at Hubert Keller's restaurant.
Wasn't it at Fleur de Lis, or is that crazy? Or is that, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, right. So and then he gets kicked out of the kitchen because of his decorum, and then
because he's fucking dipping his fingers into taste stuff.
Yeah, and then he gets sent home for it. So I think it's a weird thing too, kind of like how you were saying earlier, Ilan, where it's like, oh, you're being too creative, you're not being creative enough, you're trying too hard, you're not trying, you know, it's always too much or too little, and it's kind of like, well, what do you want us to do? And that felt very much like that to me.
Yeah.
I do think by later on, they really do solidify, like, we don't give a shit about your personality. If you are mean in the kitchen, as long as you have good food. Because Ken also, I remember his dish tasted like ass. They did not like the thing he ended up making, in addition to the fact that he's like spitting on his fingers and sticking it into soups. Okay, great. So obviously you are the winner. Incredible. Yay. Congratulations. Finally, after all this time, you can tell everyone.
Yeah.
I know you've been sitting on it for 14 years. This is the premiere of you telling everyone. That's incredible. We had a few questions in the chat people were asking.
Yeah.
Someone asked, do you keep in touch with the judges? It seems like you keep in touch with a few of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm in contact with Gail more than anybody else. But I saw, Gail's been to my restaurant. Tom hasn't, but I used to see Tom. I mean, I used to do Top Chef events and stuff, and I would see Tom, or I would even just at the food and wine festivals, I'd see Tom a lot. Padma I saw when I first moved back to New York, right after she had her baby. But I the last time I saw all of them all together was in Singapore for the finale with, it was me. It was for when Kevin Sprague won, and it was with, it was me, Voltaggio, and Hung. And we helped Kevin, Ed Cotton, who was my partner, and
Angelo, right?
Angelo, and that's when Angelo was like super sick, and Hung did his entire menu. That whole thing, it was crazy, and we had a great time because we actually had a lot of free time. You know, we were there for like 5 days, and so it was just me, Hung, and Michael Voltaggio, like eating weird shit and getting massages and like just bumming around Singapore. It was awesome.
That's
incredible.
Yeah.
I have, if I can ask a question of my own that I'm so curious about, they really play it up as part of the things that you win. You get to go to the Food and Wine Classic in Aspen. Was that everything you hoped it would be, or were you like, who cares?
It's awesome. I've been many times subsequently.
That's awesome.
It's, I mean, in the time of COVID, I don't know when that's going to change, but no, the Food and Wine Classic is like, it's nice.
Okay.
Because you chefs from all over the world coming. I mean, giving an example, I think it was the second one. I've gone to maybe like 4 or 5 of them, 5, 6, something like that, a lot. And I went to a party one night, and it was me, Leanne, and Harold, and we were just like drinking beers, and Jose Andres is like making us a fucking sandwich with a wood fire grill, and he's like making a pan con tomate with like jamon and like so it's like it's stuff like that. So it's like not even the events are cool, but it's like the parties, they're always sponsored by somebody, so there's tons of food, tons of booze, and like it's just a blast.
Wow.
And also the one in there's a counterpart to it in South Beach every year, and that's the one that's like, that's where I mean, not anymore. I feel like everybody's so old now, but that's where, like, you know, you'd see lots of very famous chefs doing drugs, and like it was a wild.
Do drugs?
As someone who grew up
3 Michelin star French chefs doing drugs with strippers, you know, it's.
Listen, you go to Miami. I grew up in Miami. When you go to Miami, you do cocaine. Okay, well, you know, when my grandma would come visit us in Miami, you do cocaine. It's
never once.
I had to do cocaine in Miami to get into school every morning.
That was the entrance exam. That's SATs or ACTs, do cocaine. That's beautiful. Okay, some more questions people have. It seemed like cooking of taro was like a really big through line in the Hawaii finale. And there was a little bit of itchiness and Padma's hard palate. Okay, wow, scandal. Have you cooked? You don't think so?
I don't think so. My roommate and I watched it today, and me and my roommate were both like, and you know, I love Padma, but me and my roommate were both today. We were like, I don't think so, honey. We were
You
like,
think she's just saying that because here's the thing that I think, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Ilan, but like inside baseball, there's like a video village set up. The executive producers, the hosts, they're all watching footage as it plays out. It's not a coincidence that Tom's like, didn't you have cherries in your dish? Like he's watching you talk about it beforehand. I'm guessing. So like, to me, that seemed like
No, they're actually not in Video Village. They don't
really?
No, it's separate. It's separate.
wow.
Okay, so then what the fuck with the tarot, Ilan? What happened? Why is she lying then?
I think she wanted Sam to go to the finale.
Okay.
Listen, I made one of her favorite dishes ever on Top Chef. She said a couple times. And I think at that point she was like, okay, enough, Ilan.
Whoa, okay. You heard it here.
But I don't know.
We don't know. Okay,
I mean,
this is a controversy. This is the blue dress or the white dress or whatever.
Yeah, I do agree though. I think that it was something where I was like, if every other judge is saying that they don't feel it and Padma feels it, I'm like, Padma, maybe you're just a little sensitive. And I know Padma has spoken out about being a super taster. I know she's like talked about that. So I'm like, oh, maybe because she's a super taster, she's a little more sensitive to it or something. But I'm saying, let it go. Nobody else is feeling. The dude from Hawaii is like, it's good. And
that was boiling there for almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
I'm
like, he says it's good, it's good.
Okay, so the question is, well, firstly, the question for the chat. This is the question for 2021. Did Padma have an itchy palate? Okay,
let us know. I say no.
We're gonna be asking this all fucking year.
We're gonna ask all year. Take time to think about it.
I'm gonna ask her next time I see her.
Yeah, thank you. Please do. Tell her we asked. TMZ, cover this. Perez Hilton, get your website back and cover this. Okay, so they want to know, have you used taro recently or have you ever cooked with it again?
I have cooked with it again. I haven't cooked in a long time. When did I cook with it? I had it on my show and somebody made it raw into like a dish.
Okay, so are you saying you had an itchy hard palate?
I took a small bite. I didn't get an itchy thing, but I think I used it because I put that as a secret ingredient because of the show, because of Top Chef.
Okay, I love that. Is there a meal you remember having made that made you want to produce your own version? Oh, I think maybe this question means like, is there something on the show that made you that inspired you to make your own version of it later on after the show? Like
from other people or stuff that I cooked myself?
For you that you cook yourself.
Yeah. I mean, there were a few, I'm trying to think specifically. I don't know, top of my head, I don't know. I mean, there were, what I did do, which was so weird, was I tried to cook for like the first 2 years after Top Chef. The way I cooked everything was as if I was on Top Chef. So like
nervous.
No, but in the Gorbals, I changed the menu for the first 3 years we were open. The menu changed every day. I had a few things that stayed on, but a majority of the menu changed every day. And I treated it like a Top Chef challenge.
Cool.
Like trying to be spontaneous. There were some failures. There were some things that I won on, but like I don't know why I did it. It's not a very good business plan, but I just felt compelled.
Totally. And I'm sure it sparks a lot of creativity and trying stuff out that you wouldn't normally try if you didn't give yourself that prompt.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a question I have that we kind of started to talk about before, and then I probably interrupted with some really stupid joke. How did Ramen Hood start? Because obviously the type of food you've liked to cook has evolved and changed. So yeah, how did that kind of come about?
It came from a dish that I cooked when I had the Gorbals in Brooklyn. There was a technique that that this food blog, these two chefs, they're married that I just love called Ideas in Food. And they were doing this technique where they were pressure cooking seeds. They did it with pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. You can sort of do the same thing with nuts. What happens when you do them with sunflower seeds, it gives them a softer texture, almost like rice or orzo, because the pressure cooker like really sort of breaks down all the starch and the fat inside. And so I was doing like this pressure cooked sunflower seed risotto, and I had it for a year on the menu, and I would change the flavor profiles of it every time. But what would happen is when I pressure cook it, I'd be left over with more liquid that I didn't need. And one of the flavors I did was miso, shiitake mushrooms, and I always wanted it to be vegan. The whole point is that it's like the super rich, creamy dish, but it's completely plant-based. And so I did one with miso, kombu seaweed, and shiitake mushrooms. And those are 3 ingredients that are in, miso ramen, some are in tonkatsu ramen. And so what happened was the leftover liquid was like this super rich, super unctuous, like umami filled broth. And it was almost identical to the broth that we have now at Ramen Hood. And so after a certain point, a lot of things sort of lined up where there was a space at Grand Central Market, and an old person that was a cook of mine, I wanted to sort of work with him somehow. And so we came up with this, and he's been obsessed with ramen. He's half Korean, half Indian, grew up in Boston, and has been obsessed with noodles his entire life. And so we just and he was actually in Copenhagen working at Denmark, working at Noma in Copenhagen. And so like all these things sort of came together, and we did this thing, and I wanted to do something plant-based because everything that I had done before was so meat heavy. Like I had a restaurant in LA for 6 years called the Gorbals that was like based off of like offal. It was like Scottish, Jewish, super weird. But and then we did sort of a slightly more refined version in New York, and then modified that. But it was all everything was very meat, because it was cooking meat is actually way easier than cooking vegetables. And at a certain point, you want to start pushing yourself and challenging yourself. And this broth was sort of the genesis of the entire thing. And that's really it.
I love that, because Jordan and I are big, like not into wasting food people. Like I am very much, to a disgusting degree, as our viewers know, I do not like to throw anything out. I will try to use anything, even a disgusting banana. If you want, I can show you the bananas in my fridge right now. I tend to show a disgusting banana I have every other week. People seem to really like it in the chat. But yeah, so I really love that origin story of like coming from just using the leftovers of your risotto.
Cool. Yeah, I am desperate to try this sunflower seed risotto.
Risotto, right?
That sounds so good.
That sounds like
cool. It's a really cool method. It's a really cool method. Michael Voltaggio had a version of it on his menu for a while. You can do it with any sort of nut or seed. I mean, sunflower seeds, because they're sort of similar in size to rice and shape. So it's kind of a cool. Actually, my wife and I are like kind of ketotarian right now, and I don't even know why I didn't think about this. We've been like trying to figure out. She's Japanese. She's half Japanese, and so rice is has been an important part of our diet for the past, 10, 11 years. And we've been trying all these like fake rices that are like keto friendly. And I'm like, we have tons of sunflower seeds. It's the basis of a business that I started. Maybe we should do that.
Maybe you should do that. Okay. I love that.
Try it. Yes. We love Ramen Hood.
Didn't connect my own dots.
Yes. And that's why you came on this show, to help you. So that's very important. But we loved Ramen Hood. Reika and I went last week. We posted on our Instagram today. So if you haven't checked it out yet, go check it out. Follow Talk Chef, follow Ilan, so you can keep up with what he's doing. They also do a vegan egg that I will say is unparalleled. I loved it. I have had Reika. This is sick. Reika,
I thought that was a rat for a second.
Yeah. Something is truly wrong with her, and I'm worried about her. She's unwell. She's unwell, and the bananas are not okay. I love her, but she and I have to have a talk. Yeah, I've had vegan egg other places, and yours is hands down the best I have ever
It's so
had.
good.
It was incredible.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And for people in LA, definitely check out Ramen Hood. This egg, it looks like a real egg. If you look at Jordan and my Instagram or the Ramen Hood Instagram, it literally has like a yolk that can like pop into your broth. It's great.
So good. Well,
Whoa, people are sorry. The news is coming in. They like my banana. Okay, weird.
God, Rika. Oh, well, this is the end of our episode. Ilan, so much.
Yes. Okay, we usually say two things. One, we normally ask what our guest would have cooked for this episode, but you were in the episode.
Yeah.
So is there anything that 2021 Ilan would have cooked that 2006 Ilan did not cook in this video?
So much. I completely changed that short rib dish.
Okay, what would it be?
Well, okay. I say I would cook a meat to temp there, but I would do a braise, but I have this different method that actually Richard Blaze taught me.
Okay.
That he didn't dub this. Actually, Jonathan Gold dubbed this hillbilly sous vide. And basically what it is you take, like, it's a great way for doing ribs. It's how we used to do ribs at the Gorbals, where you season your ribs, you sear them, whatever, let them cool down, and you wrap them in tons of plastic, like a ridiculous amount. You're basically trying to create your own vacuum seal. And then you do the same thing with tin foil. And so you can put it in a dry oven, you let it sit overnight, and then what happens is the next day, it's like beautifully tender, but you're not braising it and losing any of its characteristics. It's all sealed in there. And then that would have been like super juicy. And I would have taken the bone off. I would have sliced it nicely. Like I would have elevated it a bit, maybe done something with the mushrooms, but it was literally just roasted mushrooms, sauce, and meat. So it wasn't like, there was nothing delicate about it.
Okay, so we're going to pit your new dish against your old dish in our Instagram stories and see which one people vote for.
Yes, and it was short rib, correct?
Short rib, beef short rib, yeah.
Okay, and then one last thing, Ilan, you are top chef. Yeah, again, we finally get to tell everyone, you don't have to hide this from your family anymore. You are top chef.
I might just tell my mom.
Yeah, please, happy birthday. You're top chef.
Mom. It is, you tell everyone that at the end of every episode, and it has, we did it with Harold, now we're doing it with you, and it does feel funny. It
does feel funny. It's nice. It's nice that we get to do that.
It's nice that we get to kind of do that for you.
And Jordan and I kind of refer to ourselves as the Paula Abdul and Randy Jackson of Talk Chef.
Absolutely.
And who's the Simon Cowell?
That banana.
Yeah, the banana. Yes, banana.
Thank you so much, Ilan. This was such a blast.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for doing the show.
Do you have anything you want to plug? Like, I know you said you have a pop-up in the Lower East Side.
Yeah, we're doing a week from Friday at Wild Air, my friend's restaurant. We are doing we're doing a Ramen Hood pop-up one night. We're gonna do some ramen, and we're gonna do an appetizer or two. Just fun. There's gonna be, the weather's supposed to be okay. There's outdoor dining, so we're gonna do bowls of ramen, all vegan, 100% always. Fabian's gonna do some dessert thing that's gonna be vegan, and Jeremiah's we're gonna work on some app thing together, and then we're gonna do our little beet tuna pani puris with the avocado. It's gonna be great.
Oh my God, it is a pani puri. Okay, because when Jordan and I went to Ramen Hood, we were debating what appetizer to get, and I'm a beet lunatic. And when I was reading it, I'm like, this sounds like pani puri, but I'm Indian. Okay, do we need
my business partner is Indian also.
Okay, so we are gonna be close.
You're gonna be close. I am wondering, are y'all also doing takeout or just outdoor dining? Yeah,
we're doing takeout. I think delivery, I'm not sure.
Wow. Okay. Well, we are going to tell everybody because they can't normally get Ramen Hood in New York, so they need to take.
No, we had a pop up. We had a pop up in 2018 to 2019 that was incredibly successful in Soho, and then we reopened it on March 13th, and then we closed it on March 16th.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. That's really beautiful. Guys, support local restaurants. It's really important. Please, if you live in Los Angeles, get some Ramen Hood takeout. If you live in New York, go the fuck to this pop-up.
Yeah.
It's really delicious. Check out Jordan and my pictures or the literal Ramen Hood picture. I also put the menu in the chat. Just support local businesses because we all want good food to be here when the pandemic's over, please. And Ilan, thank you so much for joining us. Again, donate to our charity this week, Long Island Cares by Ben Moying Jordan at JORDANMYR1CK. We've already raised some money. We got
a bunch of money. And you know what? A bunch of money, but not enough.
Yeah, not enough, guys.
It's never enough.
We need exactly as much more as is going to come in 24 hours.
As we get, yes, absolutely.
Okay,
well, we'll see y'all next week for our season 3 premiere.
Yes, it's going to be great.
It's going to be exciting. All right,
Excellent.
well, bye.